Well, hello. I hope you're having a good day. Today, Grandma would like to read you the story called The Knights of the Silver Shield. Once upon a time, there was a forest where many cruel giants lived. Now, a group of knights lived in a castle in this forest. They were there to protect the travelers and to fight the giants whenever it was necessary. The knights each wore a suit of armor, and each had a magic silver shield. The shields had appeared cloudy when they were new, but as the owner of the shield proved himself brave and honest, the cloudy gray would become brightest silver. It was even said that if a knight proved himself by a deed of exceptional difficulty, a golden star was seen in the center of the shield ever after. This was the greatest honor that a knight could achieve, and the other knights always spoke of such a one as having won his star. Of course, each of the knights desired to have the golden star shine on his shield. It was of the golden star that the knights thought of as they rode away at dawn one morning. Perhaps today I shall win a golden star, each thought, as he rode over the drawbridge to meet the giants in battle. Everyone, that is, except the youngest of all the knights, Sir Rowland. This day he had been commanded by the lord of the castle to remain behind and guard the gate. Although Roland was the youngest, he had performed many deeds of honor and bravery. His shield had a very bright shine, but he certainly couldn't win his star if he didn't go out and fight the giants, he thought to himself. He struggled against his feeling of disappointment and went quietly to look after the gate, for which he had promised that he would let no one enter the gate of the castle. He knew that he must keep his word. Sometime later, one of the knights came limping back to the castle gate. Roland knew that this knight was not a brave one, and that he had been frightened away as soon as he was wounded. "I have been hurt," he said, "so that I cannot fight any more. But I could watch the gate for you if you would like to go back in my place." At first, Roland's heart leapt with joy at this, but then he remembered that the commander had told him to watch the gate, and he said, "I would like to go, but a knight belongs where his commander has put him. My place is here at the gate, and yours is at the battle." The knight was ashamed when he heard this, and he turned around and went back into the forest again. So Sir Rowland kept guard for another hour. Then there came an old beggar woman down the path to the castle, and asked him if she might come in and have some food and rest. He told her that no one could enter the castle that day, but that he would send a servant to get food for her, and that she could sit and rest as long as she would like. "I have been in the forest where the battle is going on," said the old woman while she was waiting for her food. "How do you think the battle is going?" asked Sir Rowland. "Badly for the knights, I am afraid," said the old woman. The giants are fighting as they have never fought before. I think you should go and help your friends." "I would like to," said Sir Rowland, "but I was told to guard the gate of the castle, and I cannot leave." "One fresh night could make a great difference when they are all so tired with fighting," said the old woman. "I would think that while there are no enemies here, you would be much more useful there." "You may think so," said Roland, "and I may think so, but neither you nor I is the commander." "I suppose," said the old woman then, that you are one of the kind of knights who like to keep out of the fighting. You are lucky to have such a good excuse for staying at home." This made Sir Rowland very angry, but as she was a woman, he closed his lips tight and said nothing to her, for he knew that a knight must always be gentle and kind to a woman. The servant came just then with the food, so it was lowered over the wall, and the woman left. It was not very long before he heard someone calling outside. Sir Rowland looked out and saw a little old man standing at the other end of the drawbridge. "Why are you calling? What do you want?" he asked the old man. "Are you Sir Rowland?" asked the little man. "Yes, but the castle is closed today," said Rowland. "Then you should not be here when your commander and his knights are having such a hard struggle with the giants. You have a chance to make yourself the greatest knight in the kingdom. Listen to me. I have brought you a magic sword." The man then brought a sword out from under his long black coat. "This is the sword of all swords," he said, "and it is for you if you will use it in the battle. When you use it, the giants will fall back and you will win the fight." Now, Rowland believed that it must truly be a magic sword, and thought that it would be wonderful to have such a sword brought to him. He was about ready to go out for the sword when he remembered that he must not leave the castle. He quickly gave the signal for the servants to pull up the drawbridge so that he could not go out, and the old man could not enter the castle. Then, as he looked across the moat, Rowland saw a strange thing. The little old man threw off his black coat, and as he did, he began to grow bigger and bigger until, in a few minutes, he was a giant. At first, Rowland could not believe his eyes. Then he realized that it was one of the enemy who had changed himself into a little old man through some magic power, that he might enter the castle while all the knights were away. Rowland shuddered to think what would have happened if he had taken the sword and left the gate unguarded. The giant shook his fist from across the moat and went angrily back into the forest. It was not long before he heard a sound that filled him with joy. It was the bugle of the lord of the castle. He and the knights were coming home with shouts of victory. Sir Rowland gave the signal to let down the drawbridge for the dusty and weary knights. He greeted them all as they passed in and closed the gate after the last one entered. The lord of the castle took his place with the knights around him, and Sir Rowland came forward with the key of the gate. Then, as was the custom, he began to give his account of what he had done in the place he had been appointed. As Rowland began to speak, one of the knights cried out, "The shield! Look at Sir Rowland's shield!" Everyone turned and looked at the shield. What they saw was a golden star of knighthood shining brightly from Rowland's shield. Rowland could not see what they were looking at, and so he wondered if he had done something wrong. "Speak, Sir Knight," said the commander. "Tell us all that has happened today at the castle. Have you been attacked? Did the giants come here? Did you fight them alone?" "No, my lord," said Rowland. "Only one giant came here, and he went away when he found that he could not enter." Then he told all that had happened through the day. When he had finished, the knights all looked again to make sure that the golden star was still there. After a little silence, the lord of the castle spoke. Men make mistakes, he said, but our silver shields are never mistaken. Sir Roland has fought and won the hardest battle of all today. Then all the others rose and saluted Sir Roland, who was the youngest knight that ever carried the golden star. What do you think was his great fight that he had won his golden star that day? Do you think it was keeping his promise and doing what he had been asked to do, what he had been appointed to do, fulfilling his responsibility to guard the gate, when it would have been so easy to leave it when he thought he was being made fun of or ridiculed, or thought that he could be a hero and go out and help and save the people from the giants. But no, he stuck to his task and kept his appointment and his promise, and in that way he saved the castle from being overrun by the giants, because once one giant got in, with the knights gone, then he could have let all the giants in, and the knights would have lost their castle. And so sometimes the hardest thing to do is what we have promised to do, and keep our promise. Sometimes when it's hard or boring or anything else, to keep our promise and do what we're supposed to do. Remember, Grandma loves you. Talk to you later.